guys, so this is part 2. You should have already watched the dissection of the prompt in order to understand what exactly we're doing. And here I wanted to do some planning in terms of finding evidence. So a couple of notes I wanted to make with you. First and foremost, these are just kind of like, housekeeping notes. The play itself spans the length of pages 215 through 290. So all of the evidence will be contained within those. You can use any and all scenes and acts from the play, right? Nothing's off limits. This isn't an act quiz, so we're not specific to one act. You have the whole play to pull from. I want to look specifically at, let's see, Act 1, Scene 7, lines 35 through 47. Okay, so that's where I'm pulling my example from. What I would do if I were you is I would first include the citation, because of course you're going to need to include the citation in your essay parenthetically, and it's going to have to be correct, right? If you're not formatting in this manner, you haven't watched a single QuickTime video lesson that I've included for you, nor have you watched a screencast, nor have you looked at the guided notes that I've provided for you. All right, so that's just a silly error, and you will be losing points as a result. So let's make sure we have it cited absolutely 100% correct. Act, colon, scene, line numbers. All right, what I would do after that is I would just write a summary of the evidence. What's occurring here? So this is Act 1, Scene 7. Lady Macbeth already knows about the prophecy, and Duncan is actually at the castle at this point. This is actually after that dagger speech that Macbeth has, in which he hallucinates essentially and sees that dagger, which we kind of associated with the guilt he might feel. But remember, this is all about Lady Macbeth. What language does she use to persuade her husband? So Macbeth appears and he says, "We'll no longer go forward with this tonight." And Lady Macbeth says on line 35, "Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale, and what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be in the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage? Prithee, peace, I dare do all that may become a man, who dares do more is none." Okay, so I'm going to summarize that, and it is kind of summarized for you on the side. It says, Lady Macbeth criticizes Macbeth's weakened resolve and compares him to a cat in a proverb who couldn't catch a fish because it feared wet feet. Okay, so Lady Macbeth criticizes Macbeth's fear of moving forward with the plan to kill Duncan. She compares him to a cat who won't catch a fish because of the fear of getting his feet wet. Okay, kind of silly, kind of crazy thing, right? Like the cat needs the fish to live, just like Macbeth needs Duncan to be dead in order to be king, but won't do so because of a simple fear of getting his feet wet, something that won't hurt him at all. So something then that you want to do is put rhetorical strategy, because remember, this is all about rhetorical strategies. When we're comparing something to another thing, what is that strategy called, right? Unless it has the word like or as in it, it's typically a metaphor. So I'm going to go ahead and put metaphor. And then because it's a critique, I'm going to go ahead and just write a simple little critique here of what I think about that. Was that an effective way of convincing him? Okay, Lady Macbeth compares Macbeth's... Oops, I'm going to run out of time here, so I'll stop here and do part 2.